Chris Hatcher here with Top Adjuster Xactimate Training with a short video on a question that I get very frequently. The main question is, how do I have a cover sheet for mitigation with its totals and a cover sheet for restoration with its totals? Remarkably simple. Notice I am in the carrier profile. That's very important. You want to be in the carrier profile. The first step is to go to the coverage loss screen and create two lines of coverage like I have here, one mitigation and one restoration. If you click these drop down arrows, you probably do not have a mitigation choice for a line of coverage. Really simple. You can go to the F5 Smart List, click on Add, and create any line of coverage with any description that you want. For this example, we're doing mitigation and restoration. Make sure that the terminology you use here is the terminology you use later for a clean, easy to read estimate, because everything we go to write from here forward is going to print on our estimate. Let's go ahead over to the sketch screen where I've put a very simple floor plan in just for the sake of example. I'm going to go up to where it says Sketch 1 on this main tab, and I'm going to right click on it, select Rename, type in mitigation, and I type it the way I want it to print because this is going to print on the estimate. Click OK. Right click on that same tab and select Add New Sketch. It defaults the name to Sketch 2. I'm just going to right click on Sketch 2, rename it, select Restoration. Before I have any line items in, I'm going to left click in space and hold that left click down and drag across. You notice I've got this lasso or a rubber banding type of effect. When I let go, all of the rooms that were contacted by that rubber band are now selected. You can hit Control C to copy, or you can right click and select copy. I'm going to go over to restoration. I'm going to right click and paste. Those rooms are on my cursor now and in my estimate. Mitigation, restoration, same as the lines of coverage. Let's go over to estimate items. Just going to expand the tree just to make a point here. Mitigation, this is one sketch tab. Restoration, this is the other. That's where these titles come from. Now I have a tree for the room in mitigation and a tree for each room, or each room is in the tree for restoration. To oversimplify, just to make the point, I'm going to select each room in the restoration area, and I'm just going to put some line items in. Drywall 1/2 inch. Not even close to an accurate estimate, is it? But it's going to make the point quite well. You'll notice over here in the restoration area, the line of coverage defaults to mitigation. That's because I have not told it what to do, and it defaults to the first line of coverage over in the coverage loss section. On my mitigation, I'm going to select every room, and I'm just going to go oversimplify it again. So I've got dehumidifiers and germicide in each of these rooms. This happens to be right. The mitigation is already got the right line of coverage. It's restoration that we need to modify. I can select everything. It doesn't matter how many levels there are or how many rooms there are. Select all of them. Go down into the estimate line item area. Click on one item while there are multiple selected on the tree. I'm going to hit Control A to select all. Basically, it makes everything blue in the bottom. I'm going to click here on my Global Changes Wizard button, and I'm going to change everything about that. We have a lot of choices on what we can make changes to. In this case, we do want to make changes to the coverage, so we leave that. All categories, we want to change everything in this restoration area to the restoration line of coverage. So under the coverage, this is what I want to change it to. Just select restoration, click OK. Lets me know everything's been modified. So now you can see my line of coverage is restoration for everything in the restoration subheader. and my line of coverage is mitigation for everything up top. So I have a mitigation and restoration separate. Here's where that shows up beautifully. I'm going to go to my print button and click on it. Machine's going to do a self-check, make sure there's no duplications. I'm just going to go with the final draft with or without removal of depreciation and click on View. And now we'll see I have a cover sheet including the taxes for mitigation and a cover sheet including the taxes for restoration. We could go further and put overhead and profit on all the restoration and leave it off mitigation or whatever our guidelines are. Hopefully that helps you. Feel free to email me at chris@topadjuster.com any questions or training needs you may have.